Well, on the day, he got beat, so we were slightly, let's say, disappointed, but we got used to him winning everything last year. But he still ran a lovely race. It's just, me and Joe were quite keen that Paddy be very prominent on him, and I don't think Paddy needs any winding up. He'd probably done plenty enough work in the middle of the race. But to be fair, the horse had a good old blow, proper, still blowing quite a time afterwards. So that means he wasn't quite ready. He's such a lovely horse for us for 6 seasons that we probably were a bit kind to him at home.
Like I say, the sort of season writes itself with a horse like him, doesn't it? So he's in all the best races, and probably the same again as last year then, hopefully.
All the same races, hopefully. That's what he's... I can't think for 1 minute he's any different than he was last season. But he was playing at the very top of his game, and we aren't going to win them all. And it probably took the pressure off a little bit now that if it ever does come off, I was just so glad to have a lovely horse, of his calibre.
Mm-hmm. And obviously, he's talking about pressure. You've probably got the most pressured job with Thistlecrack this year that everyone's talking about, and everyone wants to see him out all the time. So, what news on him after Chepstow, where everyone was sort of was holding their breath to start with, and then after he's performed, everyone wouldn't stop talking about him for the rest of the day?
No, that's right. I think we all had that factor. We were all a bit tense going into the race because that's what good horses do for you, and the manner of the way he jumped. It was brilliant. He's come out of the race fine. There was a question mark going into it. Was he going to be as good over fences as he was as a hurdler? Because me and John and Heather, the owners, we were exactly on the same wavelength all the time. That if he's not going to be as good a fencer, he can go back the hurdle route. But it does look now as though he's just found his niche in life as a chaser, really.
And being 8 as well, so that it was now or never, wasn't it? So some go chasing earlier, but if you were going to do it, you had to change from being the sort of like top staying hurdler to being the chaser you want him to be.
Yes, so we won't be hanging around in 5-horse novices either. He's done one of them. He will step up as long as the ground is the soft side of good at Cheltenham. Go there for a Cheltenham experience, then we'll sort of turn the next page and see what we're going to do afterwards. We have made an entry for the King George because he's, as you say, he's not a 5-year-old. He's 8. The way he jumped, everybody thought the same. He jumped properly, and as long as he can do that at faster paces, we shall step him up the grades pretty quick.
And we're not coming down much of a level if we go on to Native River. So, again, sort of another one of the ones that everyone's looking forward to the winter. So what's the news on him?
Yeah, obviously he ran a really good trial at Wetherby. He's a horse, you've got to stoke him up all the way. Richard Johnson sort of does that brilliantly. He stayed on, as a good hurdler. We were just having a look. We didn't want to go to the Hennessy without having a run, really. The racecourse Gatters might have been all right, but we didn't. We wanted to have a race, and we didn't want to put his handicap up any higher. So I think I don't see no reason why his handicap's going to go up on that anyway. So he's had his run. He can go to the Hennessy off a 154. It's going to be lovely, isn't it? His favourite. So it's still got to be one. But,
and he might not be the only one, obviously, because having seen Theatre Guiding, knowing his Hennessy history, he's another one that must come into the mix.
You'd have to say, he came second last year. You'd have to say, the run this year at Wetherby was better than last. We tolerated his wind up until July of this year. Now he'd done his wind because he always being a King's Theatre. Most of them do need a bit of help sometimes in their life, and so he's had a wind up. Ran really well. We thought he was a little bit behind Q Card in his work, but he ran really well, so he'll go to the Hennessy, along with possibly Third Intention.
Okay, come on to Third Intention, obviously, yeah, sort of, as you say, like he's run over, seems to be every trip under the sun over the years, come back this year, and what a brilliant start.
Yeah, I got on back in my mind, I can't see him. The Hennessy will be a gruelling race, whether he'll be able to tolerate that, I don't know. He's not a great robust horse. Off his new mark of 155, he's going to be, he's going to be one of the top weights. unless Coney Gree goes in it, then that's going to give us all a bit better chance again. So he's entered anyway. Whether we're going to have a fair bit of talking about where he's going to go next. There's a lovely 2.5 miler. Now he's won the old Roan Chase. You know, it's whether it was his pallet we'd done or whether it was because he had stopped in a lot of races in his life, but we ran him over 2-2 last year in the Horden Go Cut and 4.5 miles in the cross country. So that tells the story. We're not sure what we're doing with him, but he's won the old Roan this year anyway. So I'm surprised if we don't go to Ascot and have a go at the 2.5 mile, 2.5 there.
And also you sort of said this morning that Fox Norton's joined the happy band of men, so that's a really nice sort of signing in the stable. What's the thoughts on him for the year?
Well, we all saw him at Cheltenham beat Sized Platinum. He bolted up, didn't he? Last year he was placed in the champion chase. The owners came up to me as I walked out of Cheltenham and sort of said that they might sell it, and I think they were trying to get someone to buy it and leave it with Neil, which would be a perfectly reasonable thing to do. And I said, well, if you want to sell it, I've got someone who would like that type of horse. And a week later they rang me back. Joe went out and spoke to him, and Joe rode the horse. He's a lovely horse, and so we bought him.
And he'll be running in the Alan and Ann Potts colours, so that's takes us on to so you've had an intake for Alan for the season. So a couple to look out for, sort of like from them that you're looking forward to getting out. I know you're still getting to know most of the string, but sort of ones that will take the eye. Yeah,
well, Alan said to me when I had the phone call, all he's really interested in is Cheltenham. That's what he wants to do. If they're not good enough to go to Cheltenham, he wants me to move them on. He said, find me a Cheltenham horse. So I think we've done that with Fox Norton. That whatever he does, he is a Cheltenham horse. The other ones, they had moved around Ireland a bit. They'd gone 2 stables there, and so no one really knew what was what. We didn't even know which ones were which when they came off the lorry, but we're just getting the hang of them now. Something that Henry de Bromhead said to me, that he always sort of campaigns horses from 2 miles to 2.5. Well, everyone knows that if I have them, they get slower, and but they do stay 3 miles. So we'll be going from 2.5 up to 3 with a lot of these. They look like big, strong chasers, and it's just wonderful to have them on board.